G'day gang, Danny, how's it going folks? We're back in the Elder Scrolls Online, the Gold Road. Just came out of that cavern over there, or that ruin. The entrance is over there. Today's a lot less golden than yesterday. It was very golden yesterday. Dead Minotaur. Alright, so, we are on the path of chaos. There is a quest, the next part is down here. I figured, seeing as I'll get on the road over here and then we might just go and do some of these quests along the way. Let's mark it up. Yeah, what happened to that golden glow before? It was very golden yesterday. Oh, what the heck? No rituals for you today. Let's make our way to the road. Love the variation in tree leaf color over around here. Some weeping willows. Beautiful. Okay, let's get on the horse. Get rid of that marker. So I'll just go towards the next quest. And
come, little ones. Whisper to me the secrets of the green.
Phythia.
Greetings, wanderer. Do you hear the wisps? I do. They bear fortunes and portents of things to come. If you cannot hear them, I'd be happy to share what they say about you.
Oh, not Phythia. 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 What are you doing out here?
Some of those Donway idiots decided I was no longer welcome in Vashabar. Said I followed the Green Pact too zealously. But they only had a problem with me after I gave them a rather unsettling fortune.
Why would they have an issue with the Green Pact?
Followers of the Dawnway claim to honor the Green, but honestly, most of them are more interested in Aliads and ancestors twice removed from our Bosmer heritage. At least that's my opinion.
What is the Dawnway, exactly?
They're Bosmer who are obsessed with the notion that maybe we're all descended from Aliads. What does it matter? The green is what's important in the here and now.
Could you tell me my fortune?
Of course. Wisps are gifts from Ifray to signal times of change. I can ask my wisps what exactly that change will be. Give me a moment to convene with them. Well, that's interesting. The wisps say your future is a muddle, undetermined, unresolved. That's odd since they are usually so sure of themselves.
What? That's it?
The future can change. Tiny things change the future. My wisps see these things and predict what is to come. Perhaps your future will be different next time we meet.
I could be a fortune teller too then. Oh, your fortune's, it's uncertain. Anything could happen. There's your fortune.
Betu! Oh, where has that dog gone?
Missing a dog, eh? Aquilia.
Excuse my shouting, traveler. You wouldn't happen to have seen a dog running around? Large, fluffy, carrying a very important estate-defining scroll in his mouth?
Why is the dog carrying a scroll?
Oh, it's a tiring ordeal. I'm visiting West Weald to execute the will of my late aunt, Lady Weatherly. The will my aunt's beloved dog, Betu, currently has in his slobbery little mouth. No thanks to Lady Weatherly's investigator friend.
An investigator?
Yes, one Mizzik Thunderboots.
Oh.
It seems he and my aunt are old friends, and he insisted on helping execute her will. I've had my fill, but you're welcome to lend him a hand. In fact, I can offer you a tidy sum if you can help move things along.
The Thunderboots himself? I'll speak with Mizzik Thunderboots.
You can find Mizzik just down the road. searching the Weatherly estate for Betu. He has quite a distinct look. You can't miss him. Khajiit wearing a broad-brimmed hat and big, heavy boots. Quite the flair for the dramatic, if you ask me.
Tell me more about your aunt.
My dear aunt suffered a terrible fall in her library. It's tragic. She certainly had many more years ahead of her. Now those she left behind are trying to piece together her final wishes. Even her son deigned to return.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't be so flippant with my family's drama. Uriel, my cousin, disappeared years ago. My aunt believed he died in Varen's revolt. Yet, here he is. Something doesn't seem right. But I'll leave the speculation to the investigator.
You don't have to tell me about the investigator. I am familiar. Mizziko Thunderbootos. Mizzik Thunderboots is helping execute the will of the late Lady Ithelia. A cryptic will and family secrets lead him to suspect foul play, but he needs my help in uncovering the truth and resolving ownership of the inheritance. Ithelia Veras informed me that her late aunt's will is missing, and that I should speak to Mizzik Thunderboots if I wish to help. Ithelia? I don't know. The Weatherlayer estate discovered. Rabbit. Some berries. Berry juice all over the ground. Mizzik.
It seems Mizzik has been fooled by a four-legged escape artist. Ah, greetings, traveler. Perhaps you can help Mizzik in his search? Ah, an old friend approaches. This one knows there are no coincidences in his line of work. Mizzik could use help solving a curious case. You wouldn't by any chance have seen a beast running about with a mouthful of parchment?
How have you been, Mizzik?
Mizzik knew he would see you again, friend. Perhaps you share his keen nose for the scent of corruption. A good crime-fighting ally is hard to come by, and he has no doubt there is a crime here. He just has to find it.
How did you find this case?
Mizzik was a friend of Lady Weatherly. He worked tirelessly on the case of her missing son when he was just a cub of a crime fighter. It was the one case Mizzik could not solve. Now, at the hour of her death, he hears her son has returned.
Lady Weatherly's missing son is alive?
He is there in the manor, waiting to claim his inheritance. But it seems strange, yes? Mizzik thinks so, So does Lady Weatherly's niece. She hired Mizzik to investigate her aunt's death. But to start his investigation, Mizzik must find the will.
Oh, we're not done talking, Mizzik.
Ah, an old friend approaches.
Yes, Ithelia Veras asked me to help you.
Ah, a wonderful idea from dear Ithelia. This one fears there is more afoot to Lady Weatherly's death. But our first clue is currently in the jowls of a dog. A hairy, stinky thing. Betu is the beast's name, though this one calls him Headache.
You're investigating Lady Weatherly's death?
Oh, yes. Helping with the will is a cover. Not only was her death sudden and mysterious, but now her fortune is missing, and her long-lost son has returned. A great many threads for one's claws to get tangled in.
The missing fortune, a long-lost son.
Yes. Ithelia wishes the question of inheritance be conclusively answered before it becomes fodder for the gossips. Now, dear Aid, we must find Betu. This one has already found his tracks. Let us crouch down and follow his trail.
I'm crouching. Let's find it. Oh, here we go. Some prints. Oh, no, that's his trail. There's the prince.
more tracks. The dog definitely went this way.
It'd be so cool if Ember interacted with some of the people we met. Even if they just said, oh, hi. Oh, hey.
Get it together, Edric. You're a mess.
What's that? Mizzik hears voices. Let us listen
Our
in.
dear lady is dead. And you still don't believe me. Then talk to the investigator. Don't pull me into this.
Can we even trust him? I don't want to be labeled a suspect.
Better to talk to an investigator than a gardener, Edric.
Not a gardener. A friend. You do well to leave, Otho. And take Betu with you.
Chef and the groundskeeper. This away. Berries dropped everywhere. Convenient for us.
I don't know what you're playing at, but you were a fool to come here.
There's Lady Pelena and her husband Uriel, our once long-lost son.
Be angry all you want, dear wife, but don't cause a scene. I'm here to stay.
Fine. Then you can help deal with your cousin and that inane investigator. Now, where could that mangy dog have gotten off to?
Let's continue. Where you at, doggo? Where are ya? Pretty sure we just went around in circles.
There's Betu. Quick, grab the wheel while he is occupied.
Hi, Betu.
Quickly, grab the wheel.
Not now, Betu. Away with you.
Good doggo. Sealed will. A sealed scroll containing the last wishes of Lady Weatherly. It's covered in a thin film of muddy drool.
With the will secured, let us speak with Edric.
Betu's always been an incorrigible sort. Best not to let him walk all over you. Apologies. I should introduce myself. My name is Edric Brusner. I was Lady Weatherly's cook. Terrible thing, her death. Beyond compare.
Were you close to Lady Weatherly?
Yes, terribly so. I've been in her employ for what feels like ages, which is why I hope you'll listen when I say you must leave the estate. I fear what happened to our dear lady could happen to you.
What makes you say that?
Chefs are privy to more than just their employer's favorite dishes. Lady Weatherly hasn't been the same since her son's disappearance, and I'm not the only one to take notice. Fruit flies buzz around the sweetest fruit, after all.
Do you know what happened to Lady Weatherly?
I can't say any more. I only came to pay my respects and to leave this place behind. If I were you, I would stay far away from that manor before that investigator digs up something horrible.
Mizzik and I are here to help. Hey, buddy. Mizzik.
If you insist on staying, that's your business. Just watch your back.
How strange. Come, let us speak, traveler. It seems the cook knows more than he is willing to let on. How very curious. Mizzik will have to make note of this. At least this confirms that the residents of the estate are keeping their secrets close to their chests.
Will you remind me of who is involved?
Yes, of course. Along with the cook, there's Otho Florius, the gardener. Then, of course, Lady Weatherly's missing son himself, Uriel, back from the dead. And his wife, Helena, who has long lived at the estate with Lady Weatherly.
Uriel returned after his mother's death?
Convenient, yes? Many questions surround Uriel's sudden return. And it should be noted that Helena seems none too pleased about it. Mizzik has, of course, investigated a number of failed marriages, but this seems different. Ah, what of the will?
Here's the will, dog slobber and all.
Yeah, excellent. The seal is still intact. We should return to the manor now that we've secured the will. I am certain our roosting vultures are keen to hear what it has to say. Meet Mizzik by the manor house when you are ready to meet the others.
I'll meet you by the manor when I'm ready. Mizzik Thunderboots is helping execute the will of the late Lady Weatherly. A cryptic will and family secrets lead him to suspect foul play, but he needs my help in covering the truth and resolving ownership of the inheritance. Mizzik Thunderboots asked me to help out with the investigation. I should meet him at the manor to talk to the family about the will.
I hope Betu's return means you retrieved the will, Mizzik?
Yes, the will is returned and intact, thanks to my assistant.
Well, let's get this over with. Read it aloud, Mizzik.
Yes, of course. Weatherly's walls hide a glittering secret, safely guarded by 4 loyal paws. Do not worry. Mizzik and his assistant will get to the bottom of this.
I'm sorry. Is that a riddle?
This must be some sort of joke.
There he is. My faithful friend.
Oh!
Strange. Betu doesn't seem too fond of you, cousin.
Nonsense. I'm sure Betu just needs time to remember me. Isn't that right, boy?
Feel free to speak with the others, but join me in the study when you are ready.
Right. Interrogation time? Chef?
The estate feels hollow now, without her. And apologies for my appearance. Needed some liquid courage to walk the halls of this corpse. I hope you find who did this. She did not deserve what happened to her.
Were you close to Lady Weatherly?
Closer than most staff are with their lords and ladies, I reckon. I'd worked for her since before young Uriel had even been born. Feels like a lifetime ago. More memories to drown, I suppose.
Groundskeeper?
I'm Otho, the gardener. Betu must like you if he followed you back. He's a good judge of character, you know. Lady Weatherly loved him dearly. I worry about what will become of him when all is said and done.
What were you and Edric arguing about earlier?
Edric is making a bit of a fool of himself. It pains me to see him this way. I assure you, he's never acted like this before. Perhaps it'd be better if you asked him. He's had a rough go of it.
The estate feels hollow now.
Aquilia?
It seems I was right to ask for your help. Despite the mysterious contents of the will, this is the most progress we've made all day. I trust you and Mizzik will see things through, and we can proceed with this unpleasant business.
Were you close to Lady Weatherly?
Fairly, though I wish I had made more of an effort to visit. I spent many summers here when I was younger, but school and then my position kept me away for far too long. She was kind, generous. Her loss outweighs any treasure we might find.
Helena?
All this waiting, and for what? A riddle. It's absurd. The sooner you and Mizzik solve this riddle, the sooner our family can move on from this nonsense. To think we haven't even had a chance to celebrate Uriel's return.
What were you and Uriel arguing about earlier?
How embarrassing. You overheard that. Tensions have been high since his mother's passing. There are certain adjustments we've both had to make. Nothing some restful sleep can't solve.
Uriel?
I didn't realize Mizzik had an assistant. A pleasure to meet you. I hope, despite the circumstances, you will find time to enjoy the estate grounds. It's beautiful this time of year. A small blessing while we grieve.
Damn, that's a hell of a scar on the side of your face there. You must be happy to be back home.
Happy doesn't do the feeling justice. Ecstatic, overjoyed, yet still burdened by Mother's passing and the horrors of battle. But being surrounded by loved ones has been a major boon.
Where's the little fella? Good Betu. Alright, let's go see Mizzik. Oh, what's this? Varen's call to arms. To the esteemed Weatherly family, our so-called emperor, the blasphemer, Leovic, has gone too far. His legalization of Daedra worship is an outrageous act of tyranny that no honorable Colovian should bow to. Duke Varen Aquileros of Corul beseeches all able-bodied fighters of the Colovian estates to join in his march against the emperor. Should you have a fire in your heart and loyalty in your blood, join our growing liberation forces in Bruma. Fight for Calovia, fight for honor, fight to restore glory to the Empire. What else is around here? What other things might I find? Oh, okay, we might have to do a bit of exploration later on. Alright, let's go find Mizzik. Right after I go upstairs. Nope, can't go that way.
Why would Lady Weatherly leave a riddle in her will? Perhaps you can make sense of it.
Or maybe after. Will and Testament of Lucilla Weatherly. I, Lady Lucilla Weatherly of Weatherly Estate, being of sound mind and body, do make the following determination for my remaining wealth and holdings upon the occurrence of my death. A trusted recipient will understand. Weatherly's walls hide a glittering secret, safely guarded by 4 loyal paws.
Could the 4 paws mean Betu? They certainly are not Mizzik's. Perhaps we can find a clue here in her study.
I wonder. But let me read all the other things first. Lady to letter to Lady Weatherly. I'm afraid I am at my wit's end. I am certain that the cook has started following me around the grounds. It seemed harmless at first, but our chance encounters have grown more numerous, and so have his questions about my late husband's disappearance. I do not know what's come over him, but I fear for my safety and yours. I believe it is time we let the cook go. I can begin the process of finding a replacement. Just say the word. Ever grateful, Pelena.
It seems Pelena made her feelings about the cook quite clear to Lady Weatherly.
Lady Weatherly's journal. To my dear son, I've spent many years and a great sum of gold trying to find you. Stubborn as ever, I've been unwilling to accept that you met your end on some distant battlefield. I kept my search for you secret. I had thought to include Pelena, but when I floated the idea, she became angry with me, accused me of chasing ghosts and wasting coin. Perhaps, like me, she's frightened of the truth I've now come to terms with, that you died a pointless death and rest somewhere in an unmarked grave. I take some solace in the memorial Edric helped me build. You would like it. It's in a quiet spot where you used to catch torch bugs when you were young. Until we see each other again, Mother.
It seems Lady Weatherly led her own investigation into her son's death.
It doesn't seem like it, Mizzik. That's what happened. Alright, let's go and crack this open.
A note peeking out from behind the painting. Excellent eye for detail, friend.
Letter of warning. Lady Weatherly, I know how hard it will be to believe a letter with no signature, but I fear for my life as much as I fear for yours. To earn your trust, I offer you this: ginseng and cornberry tea brewed with candied rose petals. Only someone who cares for you dearly would know your favorite tea. I risk writing this letter because a traitor schemes behind your back. It pains me to say this, But the woman you've cared for may have had a hand in murdering your son. We must meet as soon as possible. I fear we haven't much time.
Interesting. A hidden note guarded by a painted dog. What does it say? Let Mizzik see the note. An anonymous letter warning Lady Weatherly of a traitor. This one wonders if they were able to meet before her death. It paints a disturbing picture of her final moments.
Why is it disturbing?
Mizzik was told that Lady Weatherly died alone in her library. But could she have met with a stranger only to become their victim? We must question the family, but do not mention the note.
Why not?
Whether this note was sent by the killer or a kind soul close to Lady Weatherly, it confirms one thing, that there is indeed a traitor among us. And with this letter, Mizzik can do what he does best. Play cat and mouse.
I'll help question the family members. See if the quest log is updated. Mizzik Thunderboots fears Lady Weatherly met with the author of the note and fell victim to foul play, but Mizzik was told Lady Weatherly was found dead in her library, alone. Mizzik suggests we speak to the members of the household who were present when she was found.
If you are looking for the stranger who calls himself Uriel, he went to walk the estate grounds with Helena, and not a moment too soon. I was growing tired of their bickering.
Actually, I was hoping to talk to you.
Of course, though I doubt I'd be of much help. I was tending to affairs in High Isle when I learned of my aunt's death. As her last living blood relative, I saw fit to see to her will, until my cousin's convenient reappearance, of course.
What do you know of Lady Weatherly's death?
Oh, as I understand it, she fell from her library's ladder while reaching for a book. If she had kept a modest staff on hand, perhaps she could have been saved. But by the time she was found, she had passed.
Who found her?
I believe it was one of the estate's remaining workers. Helena would know more. She was here when it happened. Unlike Uriel. I know grief can cloud one's judgment, but is she not at all suspicious of Uriel's story?
Why are you so suspicious of Uriel?
I haven't seen Uriel since we were teens, before I was sent to boarding school. And then he left to fight in Varen's revolt 6 years ago. He might share a passing resemblance, even with his scar, but I don't believe he's really Uriel.
Do you have any proof he's lying?
Frustratingly, no. But my aunt spent countless coins searching for Uriel. Even if his story is true, and he lost his memory, she would have found him. I fear Uriel was lost to us in the revolt. And this man is wearing our grief like a disguise.
What does Helena think?
That's the thing. Since his arrival, Helena has been both overjoyed and furious. I suppose his return after so long could explain her mixed emotions. But I think she's hiding something. They share terse whispers constantly.
That's good to know.
If Aquilia was Lady Weatherly's last living heir, could she have expected to receive the missing fortune? A motive, perhaps.
The two outside.
How foolish of you to think that I would just disappear.
My love, the investigator returns. We'll continue our discussion later. Apologies. Recent events have been overwhelming, to say the least. I needed some fresh air, and my dear Uriel saw fit to join me. Is there anything I can help you with?
Were you present the day Lady Weatherly died?
No, I was not. Lady Weatherly was kind enough to let me live on the estate when Uriel went off to fight, but I often spend my mornings walking through the woods. A ritual that has helped ever since Uriel's death. Absence, I mean.
Who found her body?
Otho Florius, the gardener, was the one who found her. He was the only one home at the time. Ever since I fired that horrible cook, Otho's been the only remaining staff member tending to the estate.
You fired the cook?
Yes. I caught Edric snooping around my private quarters. Terrible thing, having one's privacy encroached upon. I told him to never return or I'd have Betu chase him out. I admit, I did enjoy striking fear into that sad little man.
Betu listens to your commands?
Well enough. He's known me since my courtship years with Uriel. He causes his fair share of mischief, but Lady Weatherly could never bring herself to get rid of him. After all, Betu was her last connection to Uriel.
What sort of mischief?
The dog has a penchant for stealing what isn't his. I usually ask our gardener to wrangle him, but as you can see, he hasn't done a very good job. Of course, now that Lady Weatherly has passed, we can consider alternatives.
Stone-faced Mizzik? Uriel.
Go on then, ask me how I returned. It's the only question anyone seems to have for me. Uriel Weatherly, back from the dead. It's laughable.
I am curious.
6 years ago, I left to fight in Varen's revolt. I was gravely wounded and left for dead, and would have died, had a caravan of Khajiit not stumbled upon me and taken pity. The Khajiit could heal my wounds, but not my memories. They were lost.
You lost your memories?
Every single one. I rode with the caravan until I was fully healed. It wasn't until we rode into Skingrad that the first slivers of my past began to return. By the time I remembered my name and where I lived, it was too late. Mother was dead.
So now you remember everything?
Some things, yes. But there are still heavy clouds. For instance, it's clear Mother's riddle was meant for me, but I can't make sense of it. I can only hope your talented investigative skills solve this mystery.
Do you share Aquila's doubts about your mother's death?
I fear Aquilia has merely succumbed to her own grief, chasing phantasms with bloody daggers. My mother was a wonderful woman who died a simple death. It is sad, but common. You come to understand this when you've been to war.
Is there anyone who'd want to hurt your mother?
From what I've been told, my mother lived her final years grieving in isolation. My dear wife Pelena did her best to keep her company, but my mother had no friends or visitors. Aside from the hired help, of course.
Could someone on staff have hurt your mother?
All this talk of suspects when the woman simply fell. Though I suppose Thunderboots would not be here if the death weren't suspicious. Speak with the staff yourself if you see fit.
We do see fit, don't we, Mizzik? Is what you're gonna say?
The gardener found Lady Weatherly's body. We should speak to him next.
Let's find him.
There you go, Betu. Baths aren't so bad. Apologies for Betu's earlier mischief. I hope he didn't damage the will. He's normally better behaved, but the lady's passing has certainly got him on edge.
Did you find Lady Weatherly's body?
Yes. I had taken over kitchen duties while Edric was away. I was restocking the pantry after returning from the market when I heard a loud crashing noise from the library.
What did you do?
I thought Betu might have knocked something over in the library, but when I went to check, the door was blocked by something heavy. By the time I wedged myself through, it was too late.
She was dead?
Yes. She was lying on the floor, motionless. One of the ladders had fallen and there were books scattered all around. I can take you to see the library. Everything is as I found it.
Did you see anyone else?
No. Lady Weatherly was the only one in the library. Which is odd, now that I think about it.
Why is that?
Betu is usually plastered to the lady's side, but he wasn't in the library. He was shut up in Pelena's room. I wonder why she would have put him there.
Is there anyone who'd want to hurt Lady Weatherly?
Well, Pelena keeps going on about Edric, our cook. She says he was acting suspiciously leading up to her death. But for what it's worth, I find him to be kind. He may be able to shed more light on that situation himself.
Edric.
You won't learn anything from those scheming charlatans, that's for sure. Lost memories, please. Children can weave better stories than that drivel. I'll say it again, stranger. You should leave this place. Nothing but rotten memories.
Were you present the day Lady Weatherly died?
No. Lady Pelena had all but run me out by then. Lady Weatherly couldn't bring herself to fire me, but I thought some time away would do us all some good. Worst decision of my life, I tell you that.
Why would Pelena run you out?
It's my own fault, honestly. Something always felt off to me about Lady Pelena. She never seemed too torn up about Uriel's death. I was convinced she was hiding something, but turns out my chef's paunch doesn't make for being stealthy.
What happened?
She caught me going through her things. A terrible thing, I know, but I don't regret it. Some things deserve to be brought to light, you'll see.
Let us investigate the library.
What? Mizzik? I was still talking to that guy.
This one briefly inspected the library before the will became the investigation's focus. We have learned much since then. Perhaps we will discover there's more to the scene than Mizzik once thought.
I agree. To the library, Mizzik. Let's go have a little look around.
The library is to the left. Your other left.
What are you talking about? I went straight to the left, Mizzik. Where are you? Where'd he go? My left. This cat.
We must study the scene carefully. Look for anything out of place.
There's only one way in. And there is a ladder here and a broken statue, but why? Even if she was... There's no way that would reach over there. Even if she was on the high shelf. I guess maybe she bounced a little bit. Let me look at this broken statue.
Certainly a ladder couldn't have caused this much damage to the statue.
Who is that? Some law books discovered. Daedra worship? Oh, groundskeeper.
Everything is just as I found it. Aquilia was very clear that she did not want to disturb any evidence. I hope you find some answers.
Fallen books.
You are certain this is where you found her body?
Yes. I'll never forget the sight of her lying there.
Quite the mess for a simple fall, don't you think?
Wait a second. The ladder broke here. Snapped in half, apparently. Somehow it ended up over here. She fell backwards all the way over here. Hit her head on the statue. And then was behind the door. Or in front of this door. But why the hell are the books all the way over here? And you found a body here? What? Broken glass.
Was that window already broken?
No. It was definitely intact before Lady Weatherly's death.
Something has broken the glass. Perhaps this was an escape route. Mizzik has seen enough. No blood, a broken window, and a fractured statue with no explanation as to how it was damaged. Mizzik feels that there is something just out of reach of this one's claws. But what could it be?
We must be missing something.
The details don't add up. Investigations always require some stretch of the imagination, but to make sense of this crime scene would be to dream up a work of fantasy.
There must be some explanation.
Perhaps the fantasy is the clue. Only a panicked hand could make such messy brushstrokes. Could Otho's arrival from the market have startled the suspect, leading them to block the door and escape out of the broken window?
Could Otho have staged the scene?
But then why create such an elaborate scene? A fall is simple enough, a tidy portrait. We should continue to investigate this broken window. Perhaps we can find a trail on the other side.
I would never hurt Lady Weatherly.
Until the investigation is complete, everyone is a suspect.
That's right. All y'all. Especially the Baron right here. Alright, let's go outside and have a look.